Hello. It's May the 2nd, if I read the date right. Saturday, May the 2nd, 11:35 a.m. It's not been a good week. I'm releasing this one early, out of sequence. This is actually going up on the day it's recorded, I hope, anyway, as long as I can get the internet working, which is another problem. I've had hardly any internet all week because I'm waiting for a SIM card from Vodafone because they think I've got a corrupted SIM. I'm beginning to think I'm not too sure that their diagnosis is right now, because at certain points this morning I was getting 32 meg down instead of 1 or 2. So I'm wondering if they've actually been doing maintenance and they just haven't advertised the fact. Anyway, we'll wait. DPD, they ordered another SIM yesterday because the one that was delivered wasn't delivered. I'm supposed to be getting a 24-hour delivery, so I'm supposed to be getting a SIM today. But I haven't received a text message with the tracking number, and they said I'd get one within 1 to 2 hours, and that was 15 hours ago now. 16 hours. Emotionally, I am confused how certain departments of Waltham Forest Council can just ignore me. In fact, I'm even more confused that one of their chairmen has managed to put me on a block list for the emails without responding to my emails at all, or even checking. And this was I think the chair of the health committee. And there were reasons. I don't just copy people in randomly. It's not just I'm emailing everyone. I'm emailing the people that are either directly concerned or indirectly concerned with either my housing or my health, hoping that someone along the line would actually take notice and maybe chase someone up. Why am I getting these emails internally, at least? No, I don't see any of that. So because Waltham Forest, some departments of Waltham Forest Council don't seem to know what customer service is, I've had to do what Barking and Dagenham Council never drove me to. I've had to start doing free information requests to get a copy of all my data, i.e. housing records and whatever records they've got, actual copies of the files, plus any communications with me, electronic or otherwise, sorted by department and officer, plus any records that have been removed or deleted, plus reasons why they've been removed or deleted. That will take a time, because they will need to go through the archives on that one. So I'm not expecting that one any time soon, but I'm expecting a response within the normal 28 days. Plus any modifications or amendments they've made to their service or other buildings, including my flat, to allow for my mental health state and autism, which I already know is nothing. But let's see what they put down. And I've asked them to supply a list of any amendments that were proposed and marked as completed, even if they weren't actioned, and who authorised or sanctioned all those actions. Hoping that might trace. I mean, I'm probably going to get replies back from Waltham Forest Council saying, oh no, this doesn't fall within the remit of the Freedom of Information Act. Because that's what Barker and Dagenham did. And they did Section 14 me, i.e. treated me as vexatious, even though they hadn't told me I was being treated as vexatious. But I did get an internal memo from Barker and Dagenham, which they then denied, saying Mr. Gibbons is vexatious and is no longer being dealt with. So I'm not going to go through 25 years of that again. So Friday, I started ringing round. I might see if I can get a list of emails for local solicitors and see if someone will take my case on. Which seems pathetic. This is why I've not done it before. It seems pathetic because all I want is someone to answer me. They don't even answer me when they do something. And when they do, well, strike that do, when they do something. Because if they don't tell me, because of my autism, I don't know whether they've done something or something has happened external to my request. So they need to tell me, because otherwise it just gives me more anxiety about what's happened and why has it happened. And regardless of my autism, like I keep saying, I've even offered to volunteer my services to train the housing department. It won't take half a day. The rest of the departments, I don't want to blame everyone. Housing and adult social services, they're the two I'm supposed to have contact with because this is what I've been told. And yet, they don't know customer services a touch of the arse from their elbow sort of thing. Independent living, fine. The only problem with independent living is the council recently put them in the middle. They basically sent me an email recently in reply to my complaint, which I didn't actually raise. They raised it internally because they didn't want to talk to me. In reply to my complaint, they said, oh, we're dealing with independent living now. He's going to be the go-between. Without any authorisation from myself, without any sanctioning via sectioning or a court order, they've taken my rights away and they've disposed of them via the independent living team, which is also contrary to my rights. Not only have they not made any adjustments for my mental health, because I have told them what I need and they refuse to action it. So many officers, Rents, called me from their personal mobiles because I notified them that I don't take private calls. There was no complaints with Rents. Mr. Singh from Rents was charming. Even when I spoke to the independent living officer, Duncan Angus, he even knew of Mr. Singh. And if everyone was like people, because I got someone else, I didn't get his name, but someone else from Rents called me about 40 minutes afterwards because they're working remotely. There wasn't enough time to update the records. So before Mr. Singh had actually updated the records and it, passed through to the system, another colleague called with exactly the same level of professionalism. So it's not the entire council. It's just housing and adult services at the moment. I've not really spoken to everyone else. Housing and adult services, I can guarantee no customer service from the ones I've had contact with. Junad is one of the managers, and his customer service skills are zero. The best conversation I've had with Junad was a few weeks ago when he called me when I was trying to get in touch with the chief exec, who refused to talk to me, and Michelle Maloney, who said she was going to talk to me on the Monday and didn't. And I've emailed her directly and she still hasn't responded, although it was only 2 days ago. If I email people directly, you'd at least expect them to say, why are you emailing me? This is more proper to such and such. No, I don't get that from anyone. And they think I'm spamming their email system because I have to email so many people to try and get one of them to respond to me. If I had one person talking to me, then I wouldn't email 15 people. But I email all the councillors for my ward and Karen Bellamy, who's not in my ward, but she has helped me. So that's 4 people. I email my MP, 5. I email the housing manager, 6. Already 6 people. Then there's the chair of the housing, the economic growth and the adult social services and the health committees, 10. Because as a cover, if I don't get a response from the ones I email, I would at least hope that someone on that list of 10 would actually, why is this bloke, ask internally, why is this person emailing me? Rather than one of them contacts IT to have it blocked by spam, which is, against my rights, putting me at risk, and there's no reason why he's blocked me. I've sent an awful lot of emails, but that's because there's an awful lot of stuff. I'm not sending spam emails. Every email is chasing a previous email to which no one replies. The more replies I get, the less people I email. If people spoke to me correctly, had good customer service, and just did what they were paid to, as Mr. Singh from Rents yesterday said, I thanked him so much for the way he treated me and how patient he was with me. And he said, no, don't worry about it, Mr. Gibbons. I'm paid to do this. And I said to him, I wish people in housing would have the same attitude, because they don't. The attitude that comes across from Waltham Forest Housing is we'll do what we want to do. It doesn't matter what you ask us. It doesn't matter what our duties in law are, i.e. to provide a safe and healthy environment for their tenants. Doesn't matter about that, they said. We'll do what we want. And that's not the attitude. They're public servants. Public because they're funded by our money. Servants because they're there to serve. Simple. And they don't get it. And it is I'm suicidal. If it weren't for the 3 cats, I'd have opened a vein. If Merlin hadn't adopted me 4 years ago, I'd be on the floor in the kitchen bleeding. I wouldn't be making this video. But no one talks to me. And all they want to do, Waltham Forest Council, is push me off onto a group that have nothing to do with my health or well-being. They're just there for guidance. I'm not their most severe case. And that's what worries me. It's not because the way they treat me. It's the way they're treating me and other people that are worse than me. I am conscious, I'm coherent at the moment. But it's getting to the stage where I'm getting very angry. And I'm not getting anyone, even to the fact that Stuart threatened me last year. No one in 16 months has responded to me. They haven't said, we're going to take this up with the law, the police. They haven't said, we're going to get a court order to restrain him. They haven't said anything to protect me. I want it in writing. I don't want someone doing something in the back without telling me. I'm not asking for the impossible. If they've read an email and they're going to take action, you click on reply and you just say, thank you, Mr. Gibbons, for your email. Not the contents have been noted, because that means I've ignored it in most situations. Thank you, Mr. Gibbons, for your email. We will look into this and get back to you. That is what I want. That is good customer service. Or if it's a simple matter of, I'll contact XYZ department, thank you Mr. Gibbons for your email, I have passed it on to X, Y and Z department and they will contact you shortly. And as a housing officer should, if they are involved with it, they should be the key point of contact. And they should put a note in their diary, and after 3 days or whatever it is, not something silly like 2 months, after 3 days, for instance, they should contact the other department and see if the email has been actioned. And if it has been actioned, they need to know what's been done and then contact the customer. Come on, this is simple. Contact the customer to confirm they can close their case. Whatever record system they use to track the calls, just contact the customer via the same method they contacted you on and just let them know. Our records show, or I have contacted the other department and they have stated that this matter has been resolved. Please can you confirm? Hello Caspi. It is not difficult. This is like first year training. And yet housing, we're very busy. Too bad. You knew you were going to be busy when you took the job on. You've only got to work out how many housing officers are to the amount of people in the States. If you can't cope with the pressure, give it up and let someone else do it. I have no sympathy for people that find it too difficult to do their jobs professionally. You either do it professionally or you're incompetent. That's all it is in my book. There is no halfway house. There's no, he's sort of professional. It's like being sort of pregnant. Isn't it, Casper? Here comes my little baby again. So now I've got to waste my time, or as I put it on one of my emails, I've got to waste my life trying to find a pro bono solicitor. Because my rights, not only as a citizen, but also as someone with disabilities, has been breached. Big time, for 2 years, by Waltham Forest Council. Despite the fact every communication I have, I tell them I've got autism and depression and anxiety. And on the tenancy signing, I told them the same and requested that all departments were made aware and was assured that this will be flagged up on their system, even though what they didn't say is they've got multiple systems that don't talk with each other because Waltham Forest haven't paid the money to actually integrate all their systems with each other. Surely that is putting people at risk. If there's multiple systems that don't interoperate, like with me, where one system may have been updated, but other systems, repairs or adult social care or whatever, just don't have the same details. I mean, I know it means spending money. Oh, Gatsby. I know it means spending money, but it's for the safety of the public. They have, let's face it, the recent COVID-19 thing has shown us that where safety is involved, they can find money. And this is for general safety. I mean, they're so incompetent, Waltham Forest Council, that they send people to clean the stairwell, to remove all items. That was their instructions. No, they didn't do it. They started knocking on the doors. Excuse me, we're supposed to be taking all this. Do you want to take it in? That's not what they were told. Don't knock on the doors, remove the stuff. Some people will only learn by cost, money, finance. If you're told to do a job and you're authorised by your manager, you do what you're told. We're not talking Nuremberg or Nazi war crimes. You're removing stuff from a fire escape that shouldn't be there. What is there to knock on the door about? And to this day, they still haven't cleaned the fire escape. There is still personal items in the fire escape. So do not send people round to enforce what your responsibilities are that think for themselves and get their thinking wrong. Because they're not trained in health and safety or fire regulations. They're people picking up rubbish. Unless there's someone there that's trained in fire regulations, they should do just what they're instructed to do. Even if there is someone there trained in fire regulations, they should still do what they've instructed to do. Remove all items. Not leave some because, oh well, it's not really important. Every item in the fire escape is a potential hazard when that place is filled with smoke and fire, especially because some tenants have tampered with their fire doors. And there's no guarantee the fire safety is actually, each unit is supposed to be self-contained. At the door, at the front door. The front doors have been tampered with. Seals have been removed. Return arms have been removed. All sorts of things have been tampered with those front doors. I've asked for a general inspection of all the fire doors in the block, including mine, because I don't know what the previous tenant done to my door. I don't know whether it's safe. I don't know whether they've changed it. I've got no idea. And because the council refused to give me the inspection sheet when I turned up, or you have to get that from the previous tenant, who didn't have one, because I checked with her, they refused to give me the inspection sheet. So I don't know what is up to spec. And I'm not really too, proud of the inspections anyway. Because when number 11 moved in, I had to give them my old door viewer, because their one wasn't fitted. And that was before they, got there. But they've also, they've done various things throughout this block. But housing don't want to know. And I'm not going to ask the SNT to carry out jobs which are basically housing first, mainly managing their tenants. If housing don't want to manage their tenants, then please let me know what housing do. Because I thought their primary responsibility was managing tenants and managing the buildings. Well, obviously, they're not managing the buildings. Just by my experience in this one block. And obviously they're not managing tenants because they allow tenants to abuse me and threaten me, and they don't do anything. So, legal action now. If I can find a solicitor. And the only reason we're going to the solicitor is because the local government and social care ombudsman are not accepting new cases. Which is, I don't know why. Because if they're doing everything remotely, why aren't they accepting new cases? This is just giving councils a remit to do whatever they want. It's almost like as soon as we went into lockdown, the local government and social care ombudsman thought, or maybe someone outside the LGSEO, well, if they can't escalate any complaints to the LGSEO, then the councils can do whatever they want, at least while we're locked down. Because there was a message on I'm not sure if it's still there, but there was a message on the LGSEO website assuring people that councils were expected to behave responsibly during this time when the LGSEO weren't accepting new calls. That's almost the same as what Boris Johnson did before the lockdown, asking people not to do this, asking people not to do that. And then he had to enforce it with a lockdown and the Police Act. And people still ignored it. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to try and find solicitors because my health is fragile at the best of times, but even more so now. I don't know what to do. I really don't. I can't go shopping. I have to wait until it rains to go shopping, and even then, there's still people in the streets blocking me. Just standing around having a chit chat, refusing to move. I'm sick of asking people to get out the way. And then, most of the time, they turn around to me and say, well, really, it's up to you to move. Why? They're just standing there, chatting, when they're supposed to be staying home. I am fed up of walking in the road and walking around people. I'm running out of food again. I've got no regular pattern to shopping because I don't know when I'm going to be able to go out. I used to go out every other day just to get little bits and pieces. I can't do that. I can't even guarantee I'm going to get out once a month. I've got most of the cats sorted. That's all coming via Amazon. It's me I can't get food for. I'm not vulnerable enough to be on the government list. Even if I were, it wouldn't help because I can't get it. I've given up checking for slots. And even then, it doesn't help because I still have to go down 2 flights of stairs to pick the food up because they won't come in the building now. So what's the point in getting a delivery if half the point of the delivery is you don't have to carry the shopping up the stairs when you do now? So basically, I'm paying for someone to go to the shop, pick up the food, drop it at my doorstep, and then I've got to carry it upstairs. Well, I could do with a walk backwards and forwards to the supermarket, if I could get in the supermarket, if people were behaving themselves, which they're not. I need a carer. As simple as that. And I'm fed up of, ringing round and asking people. I shouldn't have to ask anyone. People know what condition I'm in. They should be ringing me and saying, Mr. Gibbons, do you want this? Mr. Gibbons, are you okay? Mr. Gibbons, no one. To this day, I don't know who called me. This Linda, don't know her last name, don't know what department she was in. So no one's going to log a complaint against customer service for this Linda. And if they are, they haven't told me. I am going mad. And I'm getting very angry because of the way I'm treated. It's almost like Waltham Forest don't want me to get well. Because then they've got an excuse to put me on a vexatious list, or to maltreat me, or disrespect my rights. And I don't know who to turn to. Because I've got no support, I have no one. I'm doing all this slowly because I've got no one to help me. And it's like, if I've got no one to help me, and I'm doing things very slowly, what about the people that are worse than me that have no one to help them? Because I guarantee there's a lot of people out there that are worse than me in the same boat with no support. If all that Waltham Forest Social Services care about is can you make a sandwich and can you put your shoes on, then there's going to be an awful lot of people worse than me that can make a sandwich and can put a shoe on that aren't getting support. DWP just don't... their assessments are okay, but it's a snapshot of how you are at that point in time, in with people. It's not how you are at that point in time, in with people. It's not how you are 99% of the time when you're on your own with no support and being treated like shit from your local authority. They don't see none of that. And I can't pretend how I am. I am how I am. I'm not like 90% of the people that go to DWP tribunals with brand new walking sticks and pretending they can't stand. I'm autistic. What you see is what you get. I've always been like that. So they assess me on a good day. It's always a good day when I get assessed. Because I've got people to talk to. So I'm already a little bit happier than I would have been without going out to an assessment. But it's a mixed feeling when you go to a DWP assessment, because I've got someone to talk to, so I'm a bit more communicative. And because I've not got anyone to talk to most of the time, which is why I'm doing these diaries, because normally I'd be talking to someone. But because there is no one, I have to talk to a camera. I just wish DWP could assess me on these videos, when they can see what state I'm in normally at home. I don't know. They cut me money down a year ago, and because I've got no support, I couldn't be bothered trying to get an appeal through. And I'm afraid there's an awful lot of people like me, where DWP basically chants their hand and they just try to save a bit of money by, lowering people's assessment, hoping that they're not going to have the wherewithal to actually put a complaint in or put an appeal in, because they've just been through an appeal process 4 months ago, because it took that long for my first appeal to go through. And they don't want to go through that again. Not that soon. I still think that if they're going to give you 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is, it should start from the moment the whole process has finished. Not go all the way back to the very first day you put your payment in or your claim in. Because that means if you take 2 years, if you get 2 years, for instance, from the date of appeal, from the date you put your claim in, and it takes 2 years to process it, including the appeal and all that, then on the very first day that you get awarded the appeal, you have to put another claim in and get assessed again. It could be a week after you get the appeal. I still think that's wrong. Yes, get the money backdated to when you put the claim in, but the new claim should start on the day you get the appeal or the decision is made. It shouldn't go from the very first day. It should be backdated to the first day, but the claim should start when the process was finished. So if you get a year, you get a year from the process. So if it takes 2 years, you get 2 years back pay plus another 2 years on. That might encourage DWP to process the claims a bit quicker, because then they've got 2 years or 3 years on top of the time they take, rather than they take the time out of the time it's taken. Anyway, I was hoping to get out today, but it looks like it's going to be dry weather. So, no biscuits for the cats again. I've just ordered some online, but they're not going to be here for 3 weeks. And that's on subscription, so with any luck, I did try calling my friend to see what they think about the food, but no one, she didn't pick up. She's busy with a cat. So I've had to order stuff that I don't know is going to be eaten by the cats. because I've got no one to talk to about it. So what am I supposed to do? I'm back on the dating sites to try and find someone to talk to. It is pathetic. Seriously, if it weren't for my cats, my life would be better off over. Because I'm fed up of going through the same repeat all the time. I left Barking and Dagenham to get away from them, and now the same idiots are here. People that don't know how to deal with customers. People that don't respond to emails. People that block emails. Barking and Dagenham even denied putting me on block list until I got that internal email which someone accidentally CC'd me on, saying, oh no, Mr. Gibbons is on a block list. We've blocked him on from the phone calls and we're blocking him on the email system, they said. And then as soon as I escalated that up to complaints, they denied all knowledge of it. And I'm afraid the same thing is happening here, and it's not my fault. Because people don't talk to me, I have to try and involve more. My MP isn't saying a thing. I've emailed him directly and he's not responded. Apart from the automatic message, he's not said a word. My counsellors have not said anything to me in weeks. Rosalind Dore emailed me, I think about 6 weeks ago now. About the time this COVID-19 thing started, it was that week. And she responded to my email without even reading it, which is a gift. You know, if she can do that, then I've heard pick me lottery numbers. Apart from the fact that she responded to something she assumed and had not read the email. So I told her to shove it where the sun don't shine. Because I cannot put up with people that can't be bothered to read what they're being asked. She might as well just have a blank email and send it out to everyone saying, make up your own content. So my counsellors aren't getting involved. My MP isn't getting involved. Housing aren't talking to me. Adult Social Services aren't saying a word. The directors of Waltham Forest Council, including the chief exec, aren't replying to me. There is no oversight of councils at the moment with the OGSEO down. So it is only legal. I've tried citizen advice, they can't do anything. I've emailed 5 local mental health charities, they haven't said a word. So it is down to legal action now. I don't know what to do. And I'm still waiting for my SIM card, so I can get some sort of internet. This is why this might go up late, because if my internet is slow again, there's no point trying to upload it. It will just break during the upload. But I'll process it for today, and as soon as I get my SIM card and the internet starts coming back, then I'll upload it. But it's going to be uploaded as soon as I can. Anyway, I don't know how long this has been going on for. Looks like about half an hour. Anyway, I'm sorry it's gone on so long. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you shortly. Thank you for watching, and stay safe.